Virgo, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your mid-May through mid-June career tarot reading. It's almost hard to get that out. Career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at your finances, your job. Where is it that the astrological energies are impacting you? Saturn does move into the sign of Aries this month, or during this 30-day period, and Jupiter moves into Cancer. So those are huge planetary shifts that only happen for Saturn every 2 years, Jupiter every 1 year. So this is going to be a big time for where is it that those planets are impacting you. We will also have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. That's going to be some big movement around our finances, our job, our courage in order to stand up to possibly those who are not treating us well, or just going after something that you really want. So take a look at the description box below for all those dates, and let's get right into it. You start off mid-May, Ace of Cups in the reverse, as well as the Page of Cups. By the time you get to the end of May, we do have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, as well as the Five of Swords in reverse. Glad to see that Five of Swords in reverse. Hopefully some type of, remember I was saying people not treating you well, that could be coming to an end. We start off June with the World card, Major Arcana card there in reverse, as well as the Six of Cups. And by the time we get into mid-June, we now have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. Some type of endings trying to come through there, Virgo. And the Tower card, I had that little laugh at the end because when I said Ten of Swords trying to come to an end, here is that end. So Tower card, Major Arcana. So some type of major breakthrough by the time you're getting to mid-June. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energy you bring into mid-May with your career. Spirit, if you can send my Virgos some energy of a card that represents that energy they have been dealing with. And you have the Fool card in the upright. So the Fool card is Major Arcana card, very beginning of the deck. Where is it that you are trying to seek a new position, a new job, a new career, starting off on a new foot? I do feel like some of you have had a rough start. I do think that for many of you all, especially during March and April, you all were having some type of realization that where you are at is not where you want to be, and you are trying to find out what is that next thing. And I do think that this card is representing a brand new cycle for you, Virgo. But I do think you're going to have to get through a little bit of tension in order to get to that. And that's what I think happens towards mid-June with that Tower card. So let's go ahead and move through and see what your oracle message is, Virgo, for your career. Spirit, if you can send my Virgos a oracle message card, an overarching theme. What is it they need to know? Is this card stuck together? No. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful energy there, Virgo, especially since we are in a career reading. This is an overarching energy of you manifesting and starting something new that you really want to do. Queen of Pentacles knows what she wants and is very adamant about following her passions, and you can see her painting that pentacle on the ground, very happy, very fulfilled. And I do think that that's going to be the overarching theme that you are trying to get to this month, Virgo. So I do think, Virgo, as you come through mid-May, mid-June, really keep that in mind. What is it that you really want to do as opposed to just doing what you have been doing, okay? And I do think that that's going to help you tremendously as you move through May and June. So we start off this reading around May 17th. The Sun is conjunct Uranus in Taurus at that time. So expect unexpected news around your money, your finances. And then a few days later, Mercury in Taurus squares Mars in Leo. So personal money conversations could be challenging. There's something here where there's some intuitive insight that could come in right around that mid-May time. Remember, it's right after that Scorpio full moon, so intuition is a lot higher. You have nothing but cups here. So it could be someone emotionally trying to connect with you, or it could be you needing to tap into your intuitive insight better. I do think many of you all are surrounding yourself around people who are not for your highest good, and you can sense this. There's this intuitive gut feeling of that, and I do think that by time we move into May 20th, when the sun enters Gemini, I do think some of your spidey senses will go off when the sun enters Gemini, because now it's more intellect, and you're going to start realizing these people that you have been surrounding yourself with, they are not for your highest good, and it may be time to move on to a different job, a different department. I do feel like here when we get to, let's see, this would be the end of May. Let me get the cards out here. So by the time you move into mid-May, look at this. There's Five of Swords in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse. This literally is when this big shift happens, when Saturn enters Aries on May 24th. And I do think that you all had some kind of opportunity that unfortunately was either you were passed up for, or maybe someone in your group at work, like colleagues or boss, looked over you, or you weren't given all the information. There's something here around you not receiving all the information, you not getting along with people around you, maybe multiple people trying to go for a promotion. And it does feel like by the time you get to Mercury entering Gemini on the 25th, a Gemini new moon on the 26th, and the sun conjunct Mercury in Gemini on the 30th, this is going to be this bigger mindset that you have, like, okay, you know what? This is not worth my time. I'm ready to move on from, this conversation with these people. Or maybe this is a client that was supposed to have given you a certain milestone of money at a certain milestones during the project, and maybe you all had a falling out. There's something here where you are needing to really connect with who it is that you're trying to connect to, meaning I do think Gemini is more about the intellect and more about where is it that you can make clean decisions. And I do feel like that has been a challenge for you, Virgo, throughout the month of April and May. Now, I do think by the time you're coming into June, I do think there's someone who steps in from your past that could help you through this situation and say, you know what, I have, a position opening at my company, or, why don't we sit down and network, get together, figure out what it is I can help you with. I do think June 6th, when Venus enters Taurus, this is going to be a much better energy for work, for career, for networking, for figuring out how much you really want to make and how you want to go about doing it. I do think this World card feels like you haven't finished a cycle yet. Remember, you have the Fool here back in April, and now you have the World card in reverse. So this means you're still on this same cycle, Virgo. It's not time to end it yet, but I do think that by the time we get to June 8th, when Mercury enters Cancer, and then the day later, June 9th, is another big day. This is when Jupiter now enters Cancer. Remember, Jupiter has been in the sign of Gemini for the last year. So now you all have some kind of opportunity to grow some kind of relationship or conversation with someone from your past. And I do think that by time you get to mid-June, this is when we have a Sagittarius full moon on the 11th. This day, or possibly the weeks after the 11th of June, something occurs where you have an aha moment. This Tower card, 10 of Swords, Sagittarius full moon could highlight groups of people. This could be internationally, people you work with abroad, just groups of people maybe dealing with religion. Sagittarius has to do with groups of people, but also travel, philosophy. There's something here where you shift your philosophy or your thinking towards a group of people, or towards a mindset of like, this job is no longer for me, or I need to start really putting my effort to something else. And I do think that that full moon in Sagittarius, and then Mars and Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus on the 15th, this is going to be some kind of tension. This is some type of huge announcement at work, some huge announcement in the industry, in our economy. There's something here that by the time you get to mid-June, when we do have also Jupiter in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries, that's going to also be big on the 15th, because remember, Jupiter is now new into Cancer and Saturn is new into Aries. So this square is going to be energy we haven't felt before. And I do think that that's what this tower is symbolizing, Virgo. So I do think overall, Virgo, this is going to be a month of big change. When I say month, you know, mid-May to mid-June, I do think Saturn and Jupiter both moving into new signs is going to directly affect you. And I do think that you all have some type of tension you are working out and a cycle that you're trying to move through. And I do think this is going to be a month that kind of like wakes you up and says, okay, do I want to still remain at this company? Do I still want to remain in this career? Do I want to keep these clients? There's something here where you're going through this process. And by the time you get to mid-June and you get to that Jupiter in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries, something big is coming up. So I hope this is helpful for you. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series, Virgo, and I'll talk to you later.